New Jersey. Thank you very much. Joining us on the phone now, civil rights activist Reverend Jesse Jackson. Reverend Jackson, thanks for joining us. We heard President Trump condemn hatred and bigotry on display. From your view, were the president's words strong enough?
No, was the action meaningful enough? He did that because when David Duke endorsed him today publicly, he was embarrassed into having to react. The Department of Justice, for example, has taken away monies designed to pursue violent white nationalists and aimed it on reverse anti-affirmative actions. He has set a very dangerous climate for us, challenging President Barack's birth, which was a stirring up hate and fear. The thing he did with the 5 young black men in New York saying that he raped the white woman. They were wrongfully convicted. Then when they were set free, he protested that. The suggestion that police should remove their hands and let somebody hit their head on a police car, further great crime up from his grave. We just see a pattern of anti-human rights, and it manifests itself, one, in the treatment of refugees, the treatment of immigrants, is making the nation smaller and smaller, and much more hateful and much more bitter.
Reverend Jackson, the president did condemn all sides in the clashes, and he did not use the word white supremacy or that phrase. I know that the omission of using that is hitting a real nerve for people like yourself, a lot of the president's critics saying he should have called them out by name, named the groups specifically, called a spade, so to speak. Explain why that is so important.
Well, you know, when there were protesting around it, he suggested they should beat the protesters and he would pay the bill. Many of the white right that feels displaced by progress see the civil rights movement as displacing them. The fact is we have enhanced them. You couldn't have the Grizzlies here in Memphis or the Tennessee Titans behind the cotton curtain. You couldn't have Nissan and Toyota in Mississippi behind the cotton curtain. The civil rights movement has made the New South new and made it better, and yet their fears have been exploited. And the anger and the buying of more guns and gun ranges. You know, the Poverty Center, Poverty Law Center in Montgomery has even more details that the use, the fear and driven by guns and anti-American government, anti-civil rights is just a prevailing wind.
Tell me what you want to hear from the president. What could he do now, following up on those initial remarks, that would calm some of the angst that is out there among people of color, among other minorities in this country that you've been addressing in some of your remarks?
He called the governor of Guam and assured him there would be security in his country and that Kim's threats would not harm him. Maybe he should call Governor Terry McAuliffe and the leaders in Charlottesville and give them the assurance he gave the governor of Guam on yesterday, that he would, that if necessary, to break up these armed, militarized, race supremacist groups, if he has to send them National Guard, he would do it. He threatened to send them into, perhaps into Venezuela. But the real fight now is in Charlottesville, and it could very well get worse unless there's some definitive. He should convene a conference on violence, cures and causes. A conference dealing with fears, real and imagined, with the growth of hate in our country.
All right, Reverend Jesse Jackson, thank you so much. Thank you very much for weighing in. We really appreciate your thoughts tonight. We'll take a quick break. We'll be back in a moment.